Presentation of stress management and relaxation technology. A smart production. Stress management and relaxation technology, or SMART, offers stress management workshops and Tai Chi QiGong classes throughout the world. Tai Chi is the fastest growing exercise and health technology today, and SMART is a leader in adapting these ancient tools for our modern lives. Besides teaching for medical universities and a host of public and private institutions, including some of the largest corporations in the world, SMART's classes have been featured nationally on television and in print. Presenters in the SMART instructional series are internationally known Tai Chi and stress management instructors. Reports indicate Tai Chi may help reduce stress damage, slow the aging process, boost the immune system, lower high blood pressure, reduce incidence of depression, anxiety, and overall mood disturbance, and, in some cases, may provide a beneficial adjunct therapy to standard medical treatment for many maladies. Ask your doctor. Tai Chi is perhaps the most powerful single thing a human being can incorporate into a healthy lifestyle. Tai Chi can also be a profound self-improvement tool, enabling practitioners to better achieve their most expansive potential as a human being. SMART's video-audio series will help you understand why a 2,000-year-old life technology is at the cutting edge of modern health science. Welcome to the world of Tai Chi and QiGong. SMART Director Bill Douglas is the author of a fun-filled coverage of Tai Chi and QiGong's tenets and benefits. This informative, easy-to-use book is humorously titled The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tai Chi and QiGong and is now available at most major bookstores. It is highly recommended that this audio-video instructional series be used in conjunction with the book.
Tai Chi and Qigong may be the most powerful health and personal growth tools in the world. These were until only recently secrets of China, but are now the fastest growing health exercises in the world today. Tai Chi may offer modern society and each of us a way to heal many of our modern problems and save us all a fortune in health care and insurance costs. Does it seem like life is getting more intense sometimes? Well, it is. This is because the world's changing faster than it ever has in history, and we are all having to learn to roll with these changes. Tai Chi teaches us how to change in a healthy and easy way by letting go of the stress of change. Studies show that change is stressful, even good change. So millions around the world are using Tai Chi to thrive in these challenging times. Stress damage is epidemic, causing 75% of the illnesses doctors treat and contributing to the 6 leading causes of death. Tai Chi is increasingly prescribed by cardiologists, neurologists, hypertension, and many other specialists as a supplemental therapy. Some psychologists now recommend Tai Chi as an effective mental and emotional therapy for everyone, and it has been used in mental health institutions such as New York's Bellevue Hospital. Whether you want to quit smoking, eat healthier, get more exercise, or just manage stress, Tai Chi may be the single most effective thing you can do for yourself to ease into the life changes you seek to make. But healing is just the beginning, for the tools taught in this video can also enhance your creativity. The greatest accomplishments of our time were achieved in a state of what Einstein called wakeful rest. Einstein, Nikola Tesla, and Thomas Edison, the fathers of modern technology, got their insights that changed the world not by working hard at a chalkboard, but in a state of quiet mindfulness, similar to the one taught on this tape. This is the alpha state of alert relaxation. The sitting Qigong, or relaxation therapy section that follows, promotes this clear state of mind, and therefore regular use of these tools may be the most powerful thing you can do to maximize your creative potential. This video will be divided into 3 parts. After the following explanation of Qigong, Part 1 will lead you through the wonderful experience of sitting Qigong. Part 2 will then take you through a sampling of Tai Chi warm-up exercises, or moving Qigong. Part 3 will introduce you to the very first movements of the Kuang Ping Yang style of Tai Chi Chuan. Although these movements are great relaxation tools of and by themselves, it is highly recommended that you continue on with volumes 2 and 3 of the Prescription for the Future video series. Tai Chi seems like a really mystical thing until you learn more about it. The more you learn about it, the more you see that it makes perfectly common sense. Tai Chi is part of traditional Chinese medicine, which understands that there is a flow of subtle energy flowing through the body. When that flow gets blocked, our health is diminished. We have less energy and we get sick more often. The most common way energy gets blocked off is through internal unmanaged stress. Most of our emotional, mental, and physical health problems can be traced back to stress or blocked energy. So when we go through slow motion movements of Tai Chi or the relaxing images of QiGong exercises, we are allowing the body to let go of the tension or the stress that blocks energy flow. This tape will introduce you to both the sitting QiGong or relaxation therapy exercise and to the warm-ups and beginning movements of Tai Chi. All are designed to help you let go of blocks and open to a wonderful flow of Qi or life energy, leaving you alert yet calm and energized yet relaxed. As we age, we begin to squeeze off the flow of life energy by holding on to fears, unrealistic perceived responsibilities, grudges, and prejudices. This results in our bodies holding on to muscle tension, our hearts working harder, and our bodies wearing out prematurely. So practicing Tai Chi is about letting go so the healing energy can flow through our relaxed mind and body, maximizing our health potential. Before we begin the sitting QiGong exercise, it will help if you realize that Qi or life energy is a very real part of you. There are many ways to measure Qi or life energy, but Kirlian photography has captured images of it. This image shows a leaf that was photographed, but what is amazing here is that about the top third of the leaf isn't there in physical reality. If you look closely, you can see the tear line where it has been torn off. So what you are seeing is an image of the energy aspect of that leaf, or its Qi or life energy. This image shows that our energy flow is affected by our behavior. The two images of the same woman's fingertip show her in a healthful state, where the energy smoothly emits from her fingertip. However, in the other image, it shows the result of her drinking a cup of coffee and smoking her very first cigarette. As you can plainly see, the energy flow is disrupted, to put it mildly. Although many of us don't smoke cigarettes, our energy flow is disrupted by our stress responses to the world changing around us, plus our everyday normal challenges. However, Tai Chi and QiGong help us cultivate a feeling of well-being as seen in the smooth energy image. We all know what that state feels like. It's those days when you wake up and everything's just clicking, just the way you want it to. Every paper wad you throw lands right in the center of the trash can, and you know it'll land there before you even let it go. Most sports have a name for this state of optimum health and performance, or smooth Qi. In basketball, they call it being in the zone. When a player is in the zone, they feed the ball to them every time because that player almost can't miss. So we all know what it feels like to have smooth Qi or be in the zone, but we don't know how to make it happen. Each day is like a crapshoot or a luck of the draw. Sometimes you wake up in the zone and sometimes you don't. More often don't. Tai Chi and QiGong help us learn how to live in the zone on a daily basis, rather than once in a while. This last image here is very important to the sitting QiGong exercise we're about to do, because it shows that the energy can be directed by our thought. In one image, the man is thinking of sending energy out of his hands, and you can see how the energy spikes out from his fingers in that one image. It's important to realize the man isn't doing this the way that we normally think of doing something. He's not going or straining in any way. He just thinks of the energy flowing out through his hands and then just lets it happen, enjoying the nice feeling it produces. This is an important point because it runs counter to the way that we've been brought up. To think that anything worthwhile must be hard, that we have to put our shoulder to the wheel and our nose to the grindstone to make it happen. The energy doesn't work that way. In fact, the instant you try to make the energy flow, it gets cut off because by trying you begin to tighten up your muscles, which squeezes off the flow of energy. So in a few moments when we begin this exercise, I'll invoke an image of a soothing flow of lightness or energy pouring through your head and brain, cranial muscles. You'll want to think of the image for an instant and then let that go, to just sit back and enjoy the pleasure of the energy's relaxing release as it pours through you with no effort on your part. One last point exercise. It is good to get our minds in the mood. So realize some basic truths about physics, and that is that we are all energy. That's what Einstein's famous equation of E equals mc squared meant, that everything in the universe is only made of energy. Actually, we are mostly made of empty space, or energy field. If you could somehow get rid of all the empty space or energy field that humans are made of and smush all the atomic particles together from the whole human race, we'd all only add up to 1 grain of rice. And that's it. Makes you feel a little lighter, doesn't it? As if the wind could blow right through you. I did a presentation at a senior center in Kansas a few years ago, and a feisty woman in her late 90s came to class late, so I had to hurry up and bring her through this explanation. I told her, "You're energy, I'm energy, and the whole universe is made of nothing but energy." She listened attentively, seeming to hang on every word I said, until finally I asked, "So what do you think?" She looked at me and replied, "Sonny, you've got a vivid imagination." And we laugh at her response because we know just how she felt. These concepts kind of split your brain in two. The idea that we are only energy, and mostly just empty space. However, it's all very true. In fact, in some children's science museums, they have what's called a particle chamber, which is filled with an ammonia mist that attaches itself to cosmic particles falling through space. The plaque on the chamber explains there are cosmic particles falling through space, through the roof of the building we are in, right through our skulls, brains, organs, and through our feet, right down into the earth as we sit here. When you look in the chamber, you see there are literally a blizzard of these particles flowing through us, almost as if we didn't exist. The reason I mention this is again to set the mood. It helps us realize that we are not solid and impenetrable mass, but we are open and permeable. So the qi, or life energy, can flow through us just as easily as it flows through the air around us. In fact, the only thing that can limit the flow of qi is a thought limitation. So when I invoke the image of a soothing flow of light or relaxing energy flowing down through your head and brain and face, you may think to yourself, this skull is solid mass, so that energy can't flow through it. Then your tiny cranial muscles will tighten up a little bit, and you will limit the flow of energy and its healing benefits. Therefore, just sit back and enjoy the following sitting QiGong exercise without worrying about how to do it, because the qi will flow through you easily and effortlessly just by your willingness to let go. As we begin this exercise, I will use the term light when referring to the qi, or life energy. This concept connotes permeability, like when sitting outside on a nice fall day and the warm sun seems to flow right through your skin and sink right into your bones. So this doesn't necessarily mean an optical light, but more of a soothing silken energy that may feel light and airy. Begin with your feet flat on the floor and your hands palm down, comfortable on your lap. Let your eyes close easily and naturally. Notice how your lungs fill and empty, becoming aware of your breath. Notice how the bottom of the lungs fills as the abdomen slightly expands, and then fill the lungs to the top as the chest expands out slightly. As you release the breath, observe how the upper chest relaxes in, and then the abdominal wall relaxes in as the lungs completely and effortlessly expel. This full diaphragmatic breathing is used in Tai Chi as well as the sitting QiGong exercises. When releasing the breath, think of allowing all the muscles to let go through the head, face, neck, and shoulders, chest, and back. Allow the shoulders to drop, relaxing away from the neck. As we breathe and let go, notice how the breaths become not only deeper, but at the same time more and more effortless, almost as if the breath were beginning to breathe us. In breathing and releasing, the body begins to expand open as if the very atoms were expanding away from one another, which they actually are. It's just the opposite of when we get tense or tight. We get smaller and a little bit shorter. As we breathe and open, the atoms actually expand away from one another. It's as if the wind could blow right through you. Don't feel as though you have to sit perfectly still through this exercise. Yawn as often as you like, and if you need to fidget or scratch an itch, then do so. However, keep your eyes closed because we will go through layers of awareness, and each time you open your eyes, it will take you back a bit. Again, take nice full breaths and let the whole body relax the breaths out, as if the bones themselves could let go. Now think of the sun directly above your head, and just by thinking of it, you may experience a subtle lift or a lightening throughout your body. as if we rise to a higher, more subtle vibratory rate of this silken, lighted awareness. Let go of trying to feel or make. Just sit back, breathe, and let go, observing effortless responses. Now think of the sun above the head opening and releasing a shower of clear silken light pouring over your head, torso, arms, legs, through your feet, and right down into the earth below. Once you think the thought, let go of it. Let all your cranial muscles let go and simply enjoy the experience of release as you are washed through by this cleansing light. Be aware of it expanding through the muscles in the top of the head. As they fill with lightness, they begin to relax and release their grip on the skull, expanding down through the sides and the back of the head until the entire scalp is lighted. Every follicle filled with light, flowing out through every hair on the head until the root of every hair is floating in a pool of liquid effortlessness. Experience as the scalp relaxes on the skull and the light permeates. And now expanding down into the back of the head, into those muscle groups at the base of the skull. As those muscles fill with light, they begin to release their grip on the bones in the back of the neck and the shoulders and the upper back, up through the back and sides of the head. The hinges of the jaw begin to light as the deep skeletal muscles let go. Now over the forehead, across the brow, and down the bridge of the nose. Not trying to feel or make anything happen, but sitting back and effortlessly observing as the soothing energy expands into the left eye socket, and now into the right eye socket. All the tiny optical muscles letting go and floating effortlessly in the expanding radiance. The nose, cheeks, mouth, and lips open to the lightness as it flows up through the nose into the deepest recesses of the sinus cavities, where you can experience an effortless release as the sinuses fill with light. Now the ears and the sides of the head, the tiny bones and muscles of the inner ears releasing as the light permeates, allowing the eustachian tubes to open, energy flowing down into the mouth. As the mouth fills with light, the upper palate, gums, and even the teeth seem to light. The tongue and the lower jaw, the gums and teeth from one side all the way around to the other. Now any saliva gathered in your mouth, swallow it and experience the energy moving down through the neck and throat to expand throughout the chest. The heart itself begins to illuminate. Again, if you catch yourself trying to make or feel something happen, let all that go. Sit back and be willing to feel absolutely nothing as you passively observe the lightness expanding through the heart and chest, lighting all the fibrous tissue of the lungs. Every breath we breathe in breathes lighted oxygen, carried with every beat of the heart to all the extremities. In fact, every cell is lighted as it's carried through all the liquid systems of the body, leaving every cell radiant with a silken effortlessness. Expanding now through all the organs, lighting the stomach, the liver, spleen and intestinal tract, down through the kidneys and the lower back. Now think of the sun above your head for a moment, opening and releasing an even greater flow of light, pouring over and through you into the earth. Again, once you think the thought, let go of it, and then open to an experience of expanded release as the bones themselves open to a cleansing shower. As the skull is permeated, the light expands into the billions of brain cells, lighting the left frontal lobe of the brain, and then the right. Expanding through the midbrain and temporal lobes, and on into the brainstem or the old brain in the back. It's as if the brain were a muscle that we've clenched for a long, long time. And as we let go and allow the light to permeate the cells, it's as if that muscle is finally letting go, opening, and lighting. effortless and soothing, releasing any straining thoughts into the silken, cleansing expanse of lightness. Now allow the energy to flow down the spine throughout the entire nervous system, to the furthest dendrites in the skin. Release any nervous tension in the frayed nerve endings into the cleansing effortlessness of that expanding light. As it expands around to the solar plexus and the nerve bundle there, the highest concentration of nerves outside of the brain itself, so any of the nervous tension that we hold in the abdominal or stomach area can be released into this expanding lightness. As it moves down to the very tip of the tailbone where it radiates out, filling the pelvic bowl, legs, feet, and pouring right on down through the open feet into the cleansing earth. So this is a very effortless process as we allow the light to pour over us from above and allow the earth to draw any loads right out through our open feet in its gentle pull of gravity. All we need to do is simply breathe, open, and be willing to let go. As we allow this cleansing shower to pour through us, you may become aware of blocks in the flow. These blocks can manifest themselves in many forms, such as muscle tension, tightness, aches, angst, or feelings of anxiety. Basically, any form of discomfort or dis-ease is a signal of blocked energy. Therefore, you don't want to try not to feel these blocks or repress them in any way. Actually, let yourself be right in the center of those feelings. Feel how they feel and where you feel them. Then, with the next deep releasing exhale, think of letting the light expand right in the center of the block, and then just sit back to experience as it begins to effortlessly open and release its loads into the cleansing shower of light pouring through us. With each deep releasing breath, the mind, body, and heart can let go at even deeper levels. Yes, the heart is a muscle, and as you relax out a sigh or yawn, the heart can begin to let go of emotions you may have repressed or held onto. Think of the brain, mind, and cranial muscles letting go as you release the breath. As we allow the heart and the brain to open and let go, the cleansing shower can begin to wash loads we've squeezed in the mind and heart. We can begin to let go of fears, tensions, and worries that we've squeezed in the tissue. As always, the more you let go, the more you can let go. Think of the downpour from above intensifying 10 times over, and then sit back and observe the responses. Let the feet open even more for elimination. Release any remaining loads into the cleansing shower. Now think of the feet closing, and instantly that happens. Immediately you may begin to experience the sensation on the soles of the feet, as a silken cocoon of energy backfills up and over the feet, ankles, calves, thighs, hips, hands, arms, torso, shoulder, neck, and head, until it overspills over the top of your head as the body is saturated with light. As the light continues to flow over and through the body, think of the hands opening. Just by thinking the thought, it happens with no effort, and immediately light begins to pour out through your hands and fingers. With eyes still closed, slowly lift your hands up in front of you as if you were holding a giant beach ball in between them. So your hands are about 3 or 4 feet apart, palm facing palm, as if you were about to clap. Take a couple of deep cleansing breaths and allow the entire body to relax. Even though the hands are still raised, let every muscle in the upper body just let go. Now, with eyes still closed, slowly move your hands in towards one another. Open them to the experience of the energy we've begun to gather, throughout and around ourselves, but also between our hands as well. Move the hands in until they're almost touching, but not quite. Let yourself get a sense of the feeling, and then slowly move them back apart, feeling the difference as they move away from one another, until again they're 3 or 4 feet apart. Take a couple of deep breaths, again letting go of the muscles. Again, slowly move the hands in towards one another, opening them to the sensation of energy until they're almost touching. As you slowly move them apart again, notice the difference in sensation as they move away from one another. Before we do this one last time, take a couple of deep cleansing breaths to again let the entire body relax. The more we relax, the more easily this river of energy pours through our body and arms and out through our open hands. It's a letting experience. We don't have to try. Now one last time, very, very slowly, move the hands in until they're almost touching. Experience. As you slowly move them apart again, experience the difference and gently place them back down on your legs. Now let all that go. With each releasing breath, allow yourself to relax a bit more into your chair with each exhale. By letting all that go, we can now touch back into the shower of light pouring over us from above. As we're saturated with light, it overspills over the top of the head, filling the field around us, until very quickly it seems as though we were literally floating in an ocean of expanding lightness. With each releasing breath, you can allow yourself to expand with this light, and in doing so, continue to release loads and tensions that you may have squeezed in your mind or your body. These loads are effortlessly drawn out magnetically in all directions, like ethereal iron filings being drawn outward from the deepest part of your mind and body, lifted and cleansed as you breathe and let go. You can literally feel loads and burdens beginning to be lifted up and off your shoulders. Again, just by breathing and being willing to let go. Worries and concerns are now lifted off the brow and the temples and seemingly right up out of the brain itself. The deep facial muscles begin to release tensions they've held onto. Now the heart can begin to release any heaviness or angst it's held onto. With each releasing breath, allowing the heart to open even more. Allowing the deepest part of the heart to open, the muscles within and around it, letting go. As we continue to release loads, we can begin to open to the permeant lightness expanding within and throughout us. The more we let go, the lighter we become. There's literally no limit to how much light we can assimilate, save a thought limitation. So wherever we become aware of tension or restriction or tightness in thought or feeling, with each releasing breath, we can allow the lightness to expand within that. Allow ourselves to open, to become lighted, effortless. This process of release, expansion, cleansing, and lighting will continue for hours after completing this experience. In fact, the rhythm of your breath and the willingness to let go will continue this effortless release. Opening and lighting. Take a few more deep cleansing breaths as we continue to allow every cell and every aspect of the field within and around us to open, to assimilate this radiant lightness as we actually become light. Being lighted is a natural state. It's the squeezing, the tension, the fears that cuts off the flow, the assimilation, the expanse of our natural state of lightness. So as we breathe and open through these experiences, we become closer to our natural selves, our lightedness, our effortless nature. With each cleansing breath, allowing ourselves to open at deeper levels to again assimilate light, floating in this ocean of expanding lightness. Every cell, every aspect of us in the field around us becoming radiant, healed. Now, very slowly and very gently, when you're ready, open your eyes. We'll now begin the section on Tai Chi warm-up exercises, or moving QiGong. Before we get into it, though, one thing that I'd like to mention is many times people talk about difficulties that they have with learning off of a Tai Chi video, because what you'll find very quickly is the right hand opposite side of your right hand, likewise with the left hand. There's two ways that you can address this problem. One is that you can turn your back to the television screen and look over your shoulder at it, and then your right hand will be on the same side as my right hand, and vice versa. But another way that you may find even more effective is if you have a mirror that you can put on a sofa or on a chair in front of the television or across the room from the television, and then work off of the mirror. And then what you'll find is that when I ask you to raise your right hand, you'll find that my right hand is on your right side. My left hand will be on your left side. So if you get a mirror and do that, you'll see what I'm talking about if you rewind and watch this again. Now, to get into the Tai Chi warm-up exercises, there's two fundamental physical modes of perception with Tai Chi. One is the Dantian. The Dantian is our center of gravity, and all Tai Chi movements come from the Dantian. This has many different effects. One thing is it's very effective for correcting your posture. It also will increase your power, and as it increases your power, it'll also make things that you do seem much more effortless. So as you learn how to move from the Dantian, you go out and cut the grass, and you'll find that your lower back won't bother you nearly as much. The other physical aspect of Tai Chi is what we call the vertical axis. It's our line of vertical posture. And in most forms of Tai Chi, you will never lean, so you'll never lean out. Now, in these warm-up exercises, we may lean a little bit, but when we start the Tai Chi exercise, you won't. So I'll be talking about vertical axis and moving from the Dantian. The way that you can find your Dantian physically is put your thumbs together over your belly button, or your navel. Okay, then form a triangle with your fingers like so. Now, the ends of your fingers are right at the Dantian level. So what you can do is you can go ahead and let your fingers just point into your lower abdomen there, and your fingers will be pointing at the Dantian. However, the Dantian's inside the body. So the only way that you can locate where it is inside the body is by doing this exercise with me. Okay, go ahead and leave your fingers pointing there and close your eyes. Now tighten up your sphincter muscles as if you were drawing up your internal organs from the inside, and then relax them immediately. And do this over and over again. Again, pulling up on your sphincter muscles as if you were pulling up your internal organs from within, and then relaxing, doing it again and again. And what you'll find is that you'll notice a subtle little tugging feeling inside your body, about 2 inches inside behind where your fingers are pointing. Now, that tugging is a muscle. It's not your Dantian. Your Dantian is actually an energy center or a location in your body. But that tugging tells you where the Dantian is located. And as you become more and more familiar with Tai Chi warm-ups and Tai Chi movements, you'll actually begin to kind of physically think or move from this Dantian area. Now, you want to let your knees bend a little bit. In Tai Chi, we always have the knees bent a little bit. You never have your knees locked, because when you lock your knees, it tightens up your hip muscles, tightens up your back muscles, tightens up your shoulder muscles. So as you bend the knees, then you can let the body relax into a relaxed posture. Now, they're not bent a lot. It's not a strenuous thing where we're trying to do deep knee bends, but it's just a very relaxed, slight bend of the knees. Now, as you do this, let your eyes close, and again, become aware of the breathing. Notice how the lungs fill from the bottom and then the top. And as you let the breath out, notice how the chest empties first, and then the abdomen relaxes in. This abdominal breathing is the most effective way to oxygenate the body, and it's the way we breathe normally through Tai Chi exercises. There are other forms of breathing, which we won't get into in this particular video,
But this abdominal breathing is a very healthful way to breathe. Again, breathing into the abdomen and then the chest. And as you let that breath out, again, emptying from the chest and then down into, allowing the abdomen to relax back in. Filling the abdomen and then the chest. Let the whole body relax that breath out, as if every cell could let go of the breath. With each releasing exhale, let the shoulders relax a little more easily away from the neck. All the back muscles letting go of the ribs. Just a deep letting go with every breath. Now, as we go through these exercises, don't feel like you have to be rigid about doing them a certain way. Let yourself loosen up. If you feel like rolling out your shoulders or your neck, or you feel like yawning, let yourself do that. If you feel like yawning constantly, let yourself yawn anytime and every time you feel like it. Now, becoming aware of the breath is an integral part of bringing your awareness back into the body. And these warm-up or moving QiGong exercises are mind-body exercises. So not only do we want to warm up the tissue for the Tai Chi movements, but we also want to bring the mind back from the rat race, from the worries of the day. And becoming aware of the breath is a very, very effective way to do that. But this Dantian will be the core of our movement. So with your feet pretty close together, what I'd like you to do is to start off with a counterclockwise hip rotation. So you begin rotating your hips in kind of like a hula hoop motion. And as you get the Dantian going, what you'll find is that it's kind of like a gyroscope. You let the Dantian take off, and then at that point we can just relax and go along for the ride. Let the Dantian take us around. So as you get this motion going, close your eyes. And as you let your eyes close, you may notice that your balance is challenged. You'll find that how much you rely on your eyes for balance. Tai Chi will give you a whole different internal perception of balance, and a lot of the balance improvements come from this awareness of motion from the Dantian and not relying so much on our visual cues. So as you let the Dantian go around in these circles, remember to breathe. Nice full breaths. Breathing into the bottom of the lungs and then the top of the lungs. And as you let that sighing exhale out, let the lungs empty from the top and then down to the bottom as we allow the Dantian to carry us around and around. Every breath just letting go, beginning to let go of the muscles through the head and the face and the shoulders, and down through the back, the lower back. And even though most of the motion is in the Dantian, or the hip area, you'll notice that you can begin to feel muscles loosening in other parts of the body. Of course, naturally in the lower back, you can feel muscles beginning to let go of the backbone. And around the ribs, muscles begin to loosen up through the chest and the back, between the shoulders. And with every releasing exhale, every sigh or yawn, you'll find that you can let go a little bit more. Good. Now go in the other direction. So change the direction of your hip rotations. And again, with every breath, just let go. Let your shoulders relax away from your neck. Let all the cranial muscles just let go. Let all the problems of the day begin to roll right off your shoulders with every releasing exhale. Yawning anytime and every time you feel like it. Again, nice full breath, breathing into the bottom of the lungs and then the top. And on that sighing exhale, emptying the lungs from the top all the way down to the bottom. Absolutely letting go. Good. Okay, now open your eyes again. So now again, bringing awareness down into the Dantian. Let the Dantian start counterclockwise hip rotations, this time with our feet apart. And once you get the motion going here, notice that the shoulders don't move much. Notice most of the movement is coming from the Dantian area, but again, it's not rigid. You're not rigidly holding them in place. You want to relax. Let the Dantian flow around. And as you get this motion down, then just let your eyes relax and close easily and naturally, allowing the Dantian to carry the pelvis around in circles. So with each breath, we can allow the body and the muscles to relax on top of the skeleton as the skeleton is moved from beneath effortlessly. Every breath, just letting go. Now with your feet farther apart and your eyes closed, your awareness will be inside and you can become aware of very subtle perceptions. You can notice how the hip bone is rotating around in the hip socket. The top of the femur, especially as you slow down these rotations, rotates all the way around the inside of that hip socket. And you'll notice that it begins to massage some of the tension out of those deep hip muscles. We carry a lot of tension in the hip muscles. And that's why sometimes it's kind of hard to walk smoothly when you're under a lot of stress, because this is where we carry the tension. So with every releasing breath, allow these rotations to flow effortlessly. And the rotation of the hip bone in the hip socket begins to massage these deep muscles in the hip joint. And you can feel that kind of tingling release as they begin to loosen up, let go of some of the tensions of the day. Again, it's a deep tissue massage from the inside out. Nice full breaths, every breath just letting go, as if the whole body could relax the breath out. Good. Now change directions. Go in the other direction. Now your mind will start to wander off and think about other things, and that's perfectly normal. But as your mind becomes analytical, or it starts remembering or planning things for later, when you take a deep breath in, let all that go. Let the mind just let go, just the same way the muscles let go. And allow your awareness to free fall or to relax back inside your body so you can fully appreciate and enjoy the sensation of loosening going on, not only in the hip socket, but throughout the body. You can feel muscles loosening around the hips, around the abdomen and lower back, up through the chest and shoulders, even into the neck and the back of the head. With every releasing breath, letting go a little bit more. Yawning anytime and every time you feel like it. Good, okay. Now let's roll out your knees and ankles. So put your feet a little closer together and simply roll out your knees and ankles. So you start off again counterclockwise. If you were looking down at the face of a clock, you'd be going against the clock hands. Now, if these rotations bother you, then you should adjust them. No Tai Chi movement or warm-up should ever hurt. If it hurts, then you want to change the way that you do it. So for example, if the kind of rotations that I'm doing bother you, then you would do a rotation like this. If this rotation bothers you, then you do a rotation like this. You can do a rotation no matter what your physical situation is. You only do it to the point where it feels okay to you. Over time, your range of mobility will increase very effortlessly and smoothly without any harm to your body. So you have to begin to listen to what the body tells you. Good, now start the knee rotations the other direction. Now, we're not doing a lot of repetitions of each one of the warm-ups because I want to show you many different warm-ups in this video. So you can do these repetitions longer as you become familiar with the routine. You can do them as long as you like, whatever feels good to you. Listening to the body, doing what feels good, remembering to breathe and relax. And if your balance will handle it, let your eyes close. Nice, full, relaxing breaths. Allow yourself to relax just as much as you can as the knees seemingly rotate effortlessly by themselves. Good, okay. Now, if you would, interlace your fingers and let yourself lengthen. So you're not straining to stretch, but rather with each releasing breath, think of letting the muscles beneath the muscles let go. So nice full breath, filling the abdomen and then the chest. And on that sighing exhale, let the whole body relax that breath out. And again, if you can close your eyes when you do this, it's easier to take your awareness within. Nice full breaths. Really savoring the sensation of letting go throughout the whole body. As we're effortlessly lengthened, you can feel that soothing, effortless elongation through the muscles and the shoulders and the neck and the back of the head as they begin to fill with a lightness and effortlessness. Good. Now let the hands gently be drawn off to the left and the right. And it's not that you're straining to go to the sides, rather you just want to let the body loosen, as if it's, again, being lengthened, drawn up towards the left and the right. Notice that the bend comes from the hips. You don't want to bend from the middle of the back. You want to let the hips be the fulcrum. Again, every breath, just letting go. Now, you don't want to go so far that it's a big strain. You only want to go far enough so that you can really savor and enjoy the sensation of those muscles loosening and stretching gently across the rib cage, under the arms, through the shoulders and the back. Every breath, just letting go. Good. Now, with the hands lengthened up, take a nice deep breath in. On that sighing exhale, let yourself begin to bend forward. You want to bend forward and then let yourself just hang. So it's not like you're trying to reach down and touch your toes or anything. Okay, just like this. Now let yourself continue hanging over like that, and as you do so, go within and become aware of that effortless elongation that you feel through your shoulders and the back of your neck and the back of your head. Enjoy that sensation, and notice that each time you let out a deep exhale or a sigh or a yawn, you can let go even more. With every releasing breath, letting go a little more, as if the ears could begin to relax off the sides of the head. The scalp can begin to relax off of the cranium. Every breath, letting go. What you'll find that what you thought was a level of relaxation was actually a rather rigid point on the way to it, because each time you release a breath, you'll find that you can let go even more. So Tai Chi isn't about straining to stretch muscles, it's about teaching the body how to stop fighting with itself. Allowing the deep, tense muscles to begin to learn how to let go, so that you can begin to move effortlessly. Good. Now the next movement. We'll start with the horse stance. The horse stance is a fundamental Tai Chi movement. It's actually a fundamental martial arts movement. Every martial art utilizes the horse stance, and Tai Chi is no different. The horse stance is named after the way that it looks. It looks like you're sitting down in a saddle on a horse. So your feet are a little more than shoulder width apart. They're fairly parallel. Sometimes we stand like this. You want to pull the heels out a little bit so they're a little bit more parallel. And what we do is we let the dantian drop down a bit as if we were settling down into a horse's saddle. Okay? Now notice as the pelvis drops down, or as the dantian drops down, the tailbone curls under a little bit. Okay, you can feel this inside yourself as you practice it a few times. So again, as you straighten up your knees, the sacrum will come out a bit. Now as you drop down into the horse stance, the sacrum tilts under slightly. The pelvis tilts up just a little bit. This isn't a rigid thing. It's very effortless. It just happens as you settle down. Knees are bent about enough so that when you look down over your knees, you can barely see the ends of your tennis shoes. Okay? Now, as we allow the dantian to drop down, we also think of the top of the head being drawn up by a thread towards the ceiling. The chin is slightly tucked in. So this takes some of the curvature out of the cervical vertebrae here. Also in the lumbar region, as the pelvis tilts, it takes some of the curvature out of the lumbar. So what we've done is we've elongated the spine. Not in a rigid way, it's not like standing at attention, but it's in a very effortless way. So you take a deep breath. As you let that sigh out, think of allowing the whole body to relax into a lengthened posture. Good. Now remember the vertical axis, how we don't lean. Okay, we begin using that right now. We want the dantian to start to flow back and forth from one leg to the other. So we're filling the leg that we move towards, we're emptying the leg that we move away from. All the weight goes over the foot or the leg that has the vertical axis or the dantian over it. This foot's completely empty. Now we filled this foot. So allow your dantian to flow back and forth with the vertical axis perfectly aligned. So notice that I'm not leading with my shoulders and I'm not leaning with my hips. What I'm doing is I'm allowing all my vertebrae to stay stacked up, posturally correct over my dantian. What this does is it allows you to move very effortlessly, very powerfully, and in a way that doesn't damage your back. So you can begin to do very strenuous things with much less risk of damage as you learn to move in this way. So it's a very simple exercise, but it's a very powerful one too. So just let your dantian flow back and forth. Every breath, letting go. And as you get the pattern here, again, close your eyes so that we can go within. You may become aware of stress or tension through the body, maybe in the shoulders or in the muscles above the legs. As you become aware of that, let yourself feel what it feels like. Let yourself feel where you feel it. Taking a deep breath in, and on that sighing exhale, letting the lightness expand right in the center of those feelings of tension or blockage. Every breath, just letting go. Good. Okay, now come up out of that a little bit so your knees aren't quite so bent. And then begin a gentle turning. So you're just turning, giving yourself a nice pat on the arm and on the flank. And with every breath, letting go. Once you get the pattern here, which is you want to let the pelvis be the turning point. So notice I'm not twisting my back. I'm letting my pelvis turn from side to side, and then my body's just following along. So as you get this pattern, let your eyes close so that you can become aware within. Every breath, just letting go. And since the dantian is doing all the work, because just a slight little turn of the dantian sends the pelvis into motion, which sends the whole skeleton into motion, meaning that we can let the whole body relax on top of the moving skeleton with each releasing breath. And all the bones begin to give us a deep tissue massage from the inside out. This principle is the same as a spinning top. When we were kids and we were first learning how to spin a spinning top, you try to spin it from the outside with your hands, and it's a lot of work and it doesn't spin very well. But once you learn to take that center spindle in between your fingers, your thumb and your forefinger, and you give it a little twist, it spins like crazy with hardly any effort. And it's the same principle with the body. So becoming aware of how just a slight turn of the dantian sends the whole body into motion. Every breath, letting go. Letting all the bones massage us from underneath. And letting go of analyzing, letting go of solving problems or planning for upcoming problems. And with each breath, allow your awareness to just lie back and relax and enjoy the sensation of motion. Feeling the air passing through your fingers and across your skin. Feeling all the muscles being massaged by the bones moving underneath. Enjoying the sensation of breath and release. Going into that mode that we were in when we were little kids. When we used to run around to spin around just to see what it felt like to get dizzy. For no other reason than just enjoy how it felt. And that's why we do Tai Chi. I mean, it gives us a million different benefits, but that's not why we do it. If you do it just because it feels good, then you're much more likely to come back and do it every day, day after day. And then all those benefits will come very effortlessly. With every breath, just letting go. Good, okay. Now think of flinging off any last remaining stress that you might be holding in the body. As you fling your arms out, breathe out. Think of literally flinging the weight of the world off your shoulders and right out through your hands and through your feet. So with every breath. And as you get the pattern, again, closing your eyes. Most of what weighs us down is energy. We know that that's true because on the days when you feel heavy and weighted down by the world, if you get on a scale, you don't weigh anymore. So it's simply energy. So the same way that we pile energy on our shoulders in the form of tension and stress, we can decide to let it fling off. So again, deep breath in and out. Good, okay. And now the last QiGong exercise that I want to show you for this video is one that I've learned many years ago, but I don't know what it's called, so I've given it a new name. I call it the Elvis impersonation. So what you want to do is you want to shake out all the deep skeletal muscles in the body. Once you start to shake, you just let all the muscles become almost like gelatin on top of the bones. And so once you see what I look like here, then close your eyes so that you don't see what I look like while I'm doing this, and nobody will watch you either, hopefully, so that we can just shake with abandon. And with every breath, letting go yet a little deeper, allowing those deepest skeletal muscles to just let go. Now, there are lactic acids that we hold squeezed in those skeletal muscles that cause a lot of stress and anxiety, actually chemical anxiety. And a lot of times we'll hold on to that for weeks or months, maybe even years. So these deep cleansing, loosening exercises like this allow the body to begin to cleanse itself. And those nice full exhalations, deep cleansing breaths, sighs and yawns can really facilitate this process. So really let yourself loosen up and breathe deeply. Every breath, just letting go. Good, and one last good series of shakes here, seeing just how liquid you can get. Taking another deep breath in. And on this sighing exhale, with your eyes closed, stop shaking and just feel the body awaken. Notice how every cell becomes illuminated, radiant with an expanding effortlessness. Notice how much more feeling and sensation you have coursing through every aspect of your being. And with every breath, let go deeper still, as if the heart and the brain could let go. The bone marrow relaxing. Every cell releasing and lighting. Good. And now very slowly and very gently, when you're ready, opening your eyes. Good. So that was some moving Qigong exercises. Now we'll begin on the Tai Chi movements themselves. I'll introduce you to about 3 Tai Chi movements on this video, and you'll be able to use them in the future as a Tai Chi exercise. You can loop it, so you can actually turn it into a much longer Tai Chi exercise. But volumes 2 and 3 will lead you through the remainder of the Huang Ping right style long form. Before we go into the Tai Chi movements as a sequence, it's good to keep in mind just a few basic concepts of Tai Chi. You know about the vertical axis, the alignment of posture. You know about moving from the Dantian. But one of the main things to remember about Tai Chi is that it's supposed to be effortless. And I mention this because it's so different than the way that we've been brought up to think about exercise. And so as you go through all your Tai Chi movements, the different Tai Chi postures, the goal of it is to breathe and see how effortlessly you can let the body go into these motions. So as we keep our vertical axis or our posture and we breathe and we sink our chi into the leg that we're shifting onto, we can literally let every muscle in the body relax on top of the skeleton as the skeleton aligns posturally over the Dantian. So again, Tai Chi is meant to be done effortlessly. Now realize that sometimes you'll feel a little tight because you're trying to hold your balance and your postural adjustments aren't made yet. This takes time over the months and over the years. You'll find progress very quickly. You'll find that your posture and your balance will improve very quickly. But at the same time, you want to be very relaxed with yourself. You want to be very accepting of where you are right here and right now. The goal of Tai Chi is to play Tai Chi. When the Chinese do Tai Chi, they say that they're playing. And so every time you do Tai Chi, you should remember that you're just playing a game. It's this game that just happens to do all these amazingly wonderful things for you, but it's always just a game. Just so you'll have an idea of how important the posture is in Tai Chi and really in every aspect of our daily life, there's a great little exercise that you can do. With your feet about shoulder width apart, let your knees bend a little bit, and just close your eyes and take a few breaths so that you can let your whole body relax. And again, as you settle down in the horse stance, your tailbone drops, and the top of the head's drawn up towards the ceiling, the chin slightly tucked in. So we have this elongated posture, and we can allow it to just relax over the Dantian, down over the center of the feet, really. And again, just taking a couple more breaths to just let your shoulders and all the muscles relax on the bones with each exhale. Just letting go. Good. Now with your eyes still closed, notice how you feel relaxed in your postural alignment or your vertical axis. Now let your head lean forward about 6 inches. Okay, you feel your toes digging in, you feel your calves digging in, you feel muscles tightening up all the way through the top of your head, just to hold you up. Now let your head move back until it's lined up over the feet or the Dantian again. And you can notice how the muscles can then again relax. Just take a couple more breaths to let yourself relax with the eyes still closed. Feeling how effortless it can be to just stand. And now let your head lean back a couple inches. Immediately you feel the back of the calves and the ankles tightening up, and really all the way up through your body, through the thighs and on up, you feel that tightening. Okay, good. Now just bring your head back up into your vertical axis or your alignment. Take a couple of breaths and relax. So this shows you how taxing it can be to have poor posture during the day. So with Tai Chi, we're challenged to move the body in 95% of the ways that it can move. And by doing so, it enables us to see where we're holding on to tension and what our postural problems are. And by becoming aware of tension spots and postural problems, we can take breaths and we can allow that feeling of lightness and adjustment to kind of flow through the body. And so as you're going through your Tai Chi movements, the goal as you let the breath out is to allow the body to kind of untie and unknot. It's kind of like an internal biofeedback exercise, where with every breath, you're letting go of tension that pulls you out of your correct posture, and thereby enabling you to move almost effortlessly. And as you learn how to do this in Tai Chi, you'll learn how to move this way through every aspect of your life.
Each lesson should be practiced for at least 1 week before moving on to the next lesson. Spend about 30 minutes per day on Tai Chi, 15 minutes on warm-ups, and 15 minutes on rehearsing your movement series.
Now we'll begin with the first 3 movements of the Quang-Ping Yang style's right style of Tai Chi. So Tai Chi is filled with all kinds of spherical images. There's something very soothing about roundness. So the very first movement begins with the horse stance that we just worked on, and also an image of a spherical roundness, kind of a pearl of energy out here in front of you. So your hands start beneath it, they circle up and over the pearl, down the backside, and they end up in front of your chest as if you were going to push somebody. Again, knees are slightly bent. As you settle down in the horse stance, let your tailbone drop. Hands circle up, over the top, down the back. Take a deep breath in as you come up. Let the shoulders and let every muscle let go as you relax that breath out. Again, breathing in as you come up. Relax as you come down the backside. Good. Now, as you breathe in and circle up, shift your dantian over to the left leg. Pick up the empty right heel, drop it in, settle back to the right leg as the hands come down. Good. Let's do that again. From the horse stance, circle up as you shift to the left, drop the right heel in, settle back to the right foot as the hands come down. One more time. Circle up as you shift your dantian to the left, drop the right heel in, settle back to the right leg as the hands come down. Now drop the hands in a big hug as if you were hugging a giant redwood tree, coming around and almost clapping as your left heel touches out in front. Your left hand is comfortably across the body. Your right hand is vertical. Left hand horizontal, right hand vertical. It's as if you were holding a honeydew melon in between your hands, a spherical image about the size of a honeydew melon. Okay, let's go back to the beginning. Circle up as you shift to the left, drop the right heel in, settle back to the right foot as the hands come down. Big hug, strike palm. Now, grasp the bird's tail. There's an imaginary peacock with a pluming tail hanging down up here diagonally off to the right. So as you reach up your hands to grasp that tail, left hand underneath and right hand on top, put your left foot diagonally back behind you. Okay? Let's do that again. It looks kind of like a Charleston step. Reach up to grasp the tail, put the foot behind. One more time. Reach up to grasp the tail, put the foot behind. Good. One more time. Reach up to grasp the tail, put the foot behind. Let's put this all together. Circle up, shift to the left, drop the right heel in, settle back. Big hug, strike palm. Grasp the bird's tail, roll back on the back foot as you stroke the tail, roll up off the right heel, bring the foot back, touch the right foot at the left instep, hands circle up in front of the face. Good. And let's take it from strike palm. Grasp the bird's tail, roll back over the back foot, roll up off the right heel, weights on the left foot, hands circle up in front of the face, turn the torso out to the right, right foot out diagonally, roll up over the right foot as you push, bringing up the left foot behind and hands go flat. Good. Let's go back to strike palm. Strike palm, grasp the bird's tail, roll back over the back foot, roll up off the right heel, bring it back, hands circle up in front of the face, turn to the right diagonally, roll up over the right foot. As you push out, bring up the back foot, and hands go flat. From the beginning, circle up as you shift to the left, drop the right heel in, settle back to the right foot, big hug, strike palm. Grasp the bird's tail, roll back, bring the right foot back, hands circle up, turn, step out the right foot, roll over the right foot, and hands push. Now when you get to the end, just make up another movement to slowly get back to the horse stance. So now you can begin again. Remember to breathe and relax. Nice full breath in, and relax as you shift. Breathing in, and relax as you push. Good, and again, a slow movement back to the horse stance. On the in-breath, begin. And relax. Good. And that's the end of segment 1. In volumes 2 and 3, you'll learn the rest of the 64 postures of the QiGong right style. But you can use this series of movements as a very effective relaxation tool beginning right now. Now let's do a movement review in the park.
Volume 1 has provided you with a rich understanding into the tools of QiGong and the beginnings of a lifelong Tai Chi practice. Volumes 2 and 3 provide instruction throughout the entire long form of Quang-Ping Tai Chi's right style. They help you understand how movements are done to maximize balance, relaxation, and energy flow. Volume 3 will complete your introduction to this ancient style by incorporating the most essential of Tai Chi training, the QiGong breathing patterns, which will become an integral part of your Tai Chi long form and your healthy and vibrant life. Volume 3 finishes with a full demonstration of the entire long form with breathing lessons so that you can use it as a practice session for years to come as you continue refining your forms. For more of stress management and relaxation technologies, smart products for mind expansion and health enhancement, contact our worldwide web page at www.taichismart.com or call 913-648-2256, or you may write us at the address on your screen. Director Bill Douglas has been commissioned by many major corporations to speak on the importance of stress management in our increasingly hectic lives and the wide-ranging and exciting possibilities Tai Chi and QiGong offer modern society on all levels, social and personal. Bill can be contacted for speaking engagements through the addresses and numbers on the screen. Consultations on incorporating Tai Chi and QiGong into your company or organization's wellness program through introductory workshops combined with SMART's corporate video audio series can also be arranged. SMART has been contracted by court-sponsored rehabilitation programs, as well as schools and other institutions. So if you're curious about how your organization might benefit from SMART programs or presentations, give us a call or email us at the above address. Also, contact SMART's webpage for information on World Tai Chi Getaway Holidays or Illumination Vacations for individuals or organizations. And be sure to read SMART Director Bill Douglas's book, The Complete Idiot's Guide to Tai Chi and QiGong, Simon & Schuster, 1998, a humorous and excellent coverage of the wonders of Tai Chi and how to get the most from it, now available in most major bookstores.